We are Podtrack, a podcast streaming platform that helps you track, remember, and share important snippets of information and help improve your overall podcast experience. Now, Podtrack is created by a group of podcast lovers and also UC Berkeley students majoring in computer science, business, and data science. Now, we would like to introduce you to Jennifer. Jennifer is an avid podcast listener. She just received a podcast from her friend recently, but she doesn't know if she has enough time to be able to finish the whole thing. Now, also Jennifer yesterday, she listened to a Tim Ferriss podcast, but she can already barely remember the details of the podcast. And then finally, Jennifer has also had the difficulty of relaying those funny moments that she has listened to in the podcasts with her friends.
Well, and just like Jennifer, there are millions of podcast listeners that face those same challenges. And that's because podcasts are time-consuming, they're difficult to remember because they're audio content, and there's little to no community on those platforms. And here's where Podtrack comes into play. Podtrack is a third-party application to Spotify, which makes the podcast listening experience more efficient and engaging. And that's because it allows users to save and then navigate to the best parts of their podcasts, as well as share those specific moments with their friends.
From Podtrack's homepage, I can click on an episode that I want to listen to.
Let's talk about Biden's plan to vaccinate the United States.
And if I hear something that I want to remember, I can click timestamp, and that will create a timestamp to 30 seconds beforehand.
More than 33% of people in the United States have gotten their first vaccine dose.
Alternatively, I can use the voice command, "Hey Podtrack, create timestamp," to create a timestamp that way. To listen to a timestamp again, I can click on the dot.
Let's talk about Biden's plan to vaccinate the United States.
And I can swipe up to see all the timestamps that I've made for that episode. To see all of my timestamps, I can also click library. And from here, I can go ahead and try to share a timestamp. Let's say I want to copy a link, and I can go ahead and share that link with a friend. If a friend shares a timestamp with me, I can go ahead and click on the link.
More than 33% of people in the United States have gotten their first vaccine dose.
And if I like what I hear, I can save that timestamp for myself. If I'm listening on the go, I can say, "Hey Siri, create timestamp." And that will create a timestamp without me having to touch my phone at all.
Let's take a look at the market opportunities. There's 345 million total Spotify users, and 88 million of those are podcast listeners. Through our research, we expect to acquire about 2% of those total podcast listeners in our first year. That leaves us 1.76 million Podtrack users. Spotify is also pushing heavily for podcast listening growth. So as that user base grows, so will our users. So looking at monetization, we're going to have two different strategies: subscriptions and advertisements. For our free plan, we're going to have a maximum of 2 timestamps per episode and also show ads on our platform. In our subscription plan, we're going to charge $1.49 per month, give you unlimited timestamps and ad-free listening.
Moving on to how we generate revenue through advertising, the first type of ad is interstitials or pop-ups, in which we have a $3 RPM price. The other type of ad we'd serve are banners at a 20-cent RPM price. And this is how we break down our projected revenue for the first year. On the left, we estimate 75% of total users are free users who each listen to an average of 32 episodes per month and being served ads of $0.0034 per episode. On the right is the revenue from our paid users, which is 25% of our user base, and following our subscription plan of $1.49 per month. This gives us a total projected revenue of $9.6 million for year one. We hope to revolutionize the podcast listening experience for everyone with Podtrack. Thank you.